All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are tearing into the brilliant, absolutely brutal first season of Donovan. Now, on the surface, this show is all about sunny LA, right? But what it's really about is the dark, incredibly messy reality that's festering just beneath the surface of that glossy American dream.
So this really is the central question that drives the entire first season, isn't it? You've got Ray, this guy who's the ultimate protector, the ultimate fixer, and then boom, he's clashing with his father, Mickey, who's just this charismatic but totally destructive force of nature. It's this classic, timeless battle, the wounded hero going up against the chaotic villain in his own family. So here's how we're going to break it all down. We're going to explore this through 5 key themes. Think of it like peeling back the layers of Ray's world, from his slick job fixing problems for Hollywood's elite, all the way down to the deep, dark shadows of his family history. All right, first up, the fixer's paradox. We're going to look at the central conflict that really defines Ray, which is the stark, almost jarring contrast between how he handles his job and how he handles, well, everything else.
And this, right here, just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have the professional fixer. This is the guy who's cool, he's in control, he solves impossible problems for Hollywood's rich and famous. But then, there's the other Ray, the broken son. This guy is violent, he's haunted, he's constantly unraveling at the seams, especially now that his father, the source of so much of his torment, is back in the picture. He's a master of controlling everyone else's chaos, but he is completely, utterly incapable of managing his own.
Okay, so let's take that conflict and see how it explodes in the one place that should be his safe haven, his family. I mean, Ray is trying so hard to build this perfect, safe world for them, but you have to ask, is he building a sanctuary, or is it actually a prison? This idea is really the beating heart of the entire season. You know, Ray's got this huge mansion out in Calabasas. It's supposed to be his fortress, this impenetrable wall to protect his family from the rough South Boston past he escaped. The only problem is, he's failing, badly. The chaos just keeps finding a way in.
And look at this, the dream versus the reality. The dream is the Calabasas mansion, right? Protecting his kids, giving them a better life, escaping that crooked upbringing. But the reality? It's a prison. He's just imported all the chaos from Boston. His kids start acting out, echoing the same old patterns. His wife, Abby, is drowning in resentment and loneliness. And then Mickey shows up, bringing all that toxicity right back to his front door. The more Ray tries to shield them, the more he ends up poisoning everything, turning his dream home into this gilded cage of secrets.
So you have to wonder, what's the engine driving all this conflict? Where does this toxic cycle of pain actually come from? Well, it all boils down to something called intergenerational trauma. And believe me, the Donovan family is a textbook case study. The idea is that unresolved trauma from one generation just gets passed right down to the next. Mickey's choices, his violence, his neglect, it created these deep wounds that were handed down to Ray, Bunchy, and Terry. For these guys, pain is basically a family heirloom. And Mickey's return is the spark that lights the fuse. He's the catalyst. His presence doesn't just create new problems. It's like he turns a key and unlocks this Pandora's box of repressed pain for the entire family. Suddenly, Bunchy's horrific trauma from being abused by a priest comes flooding back. Terry's guilt over it all just boils over. And Ray's rage at his father, this almost biblical fury, just erupts and shatters whatever fragile peace they'd managed to build. And what's so brilliant about the show is that it doesn't just tell you all this stuff, it shows you, using this really powerful and consistent visual language.
The Bag or the Bat. It's the title of the pilot episode, and it's basically Ray's entire philosophy in a nutshell. It's this idea that you have 2 options: the subtle payoff, the bag of cash, or blunt force violence, the baseball bat. But what the show reveals is that it's a false choice. It's this constant, brutal negotiation between diplomacy and savagery. And that choice, that tension, it literally haunts every single move Ray makes.
And I mean, the symbolism is just everywhere you look. You've got boxing, which is all about contained fury and that tough Irish-American resilience. Then there's the mobster, Sully, who's basically this golem, a monster Ray creates that he then can't control. Those black Cadillacs? They're like these shadowy chariots, literally ferrying guilt from the past right into his present. Even the Pacific Ocean, which should be peaceful, ends up stained by violence. It all works together to create this feeling of savagery that's always, always just about to break loose.
So, what does all this build to? After a whole season of quick fixes and bloody knuckles, what is the show trying to say about redemption? Can a man like Ray ever truly be saved?
Well, the season doesn't give us a neat and tidy ending. Instead, it leaves us with this incredibly haunting image.
You have Ray bloodied and beaten, just staring out at this beautiful, calm Pacific Ocean. In that view, it seems to promise a fresh start, right? A chance to wash everything clean. But the bloodstains on his shirt, they tell the real story. The violence leaves a stain that you just can't wash away. It's an indelible tide.
And that's really the unflinching message of the season. Ray's fixes? They're just bandages. They're temporary solutions. He's a genius at containing problems, at managing the surface-level chaos, but he never ever deals with the root cause of his own pain. The show makes it crystal clear. True redemption, real healing, it's only possible if you confront where you come from. And that's the one thing Ray spends the entire season desperately trying to avoid.
Which, of course, leaves us with a final, really provocative question. A question that goes way beyond just this TV show. It makes you think about the legacies we all carry, and whether we can ever truly escape the shadows we inherit.